Good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television, where we bring to you the biggest developing news stories from India and across the globe at lunch hour. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor, and these are the headlines. ISRO's first space mission in 2018. Countdown begins for PSLV C-40 Cartosat-2 series mission. PSLV to put 31 satellites into space, 3 of them being Indian satellites. Maldives Foreign Minister Mohammed Asim in India on a 3-day visit. Talks with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj on key bilateral issues underway. Will also call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Free services to customers in public sector banks to continue. Finance Ministry clarifies that media reports saying that banks will charge for accepting deposits and withdrawals from 20th of January are baseless. A day after Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti sends out a strong message to separatists, stating that whatever people of Jammu and Kashmir get will be from India and nowhere else. PDP MLA triggers controversy in the assembly, calls terrorists in the state as martyrs whose deaths should not be celebrated. And US President Donald Trump says America willing to hold talks with North Korea. Statement a day after North and South Korea hold day-long negotiations in the demilitarized zone. Our top story this afternoon, India will launch its first space mission in 2018 on Friday. A mission that will mark ISRO's 100th satellite with the launch of PSLV C-40 Cartosat-2 series. The countdown for the ambitious launch began on Thursday morning, 24 hours before the launch. A total of 31 satellites will be launched, out of 3 are from India and 28 are from 6 other nations. In a milestone event in India's space mission, ISRO is set to launch its 100th satellite along with 30 others in a single mission on Friday. ISRO's PSLV C-40 Cartosat-2 series satellite mission is scheduled to be launched on Friday at 9:28 a.m. from the first launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Center, coming 4 months after a similar launch vehicle failed to deliver country's 8th navigation satellite in the Earth's lower orbit on 31st of August last year. The launch is crucial as it marks the maiden century of Indian satellites.
With that, the C-40 is on this. Yes, we are back to the game. And another thing is, now we are coming to this also. This is more 31 satellites being launched. And 28 comes from outside India. 3 of our satellites. And so 40th launch of PSLV marks the maiden century of Indian satellite thing. The 3 family of satellites, nano, micro and cartography satellite. It's, we are all eagerly waiting for that. And 12th is the launch slated for that.
According to ISRO, the 3 Indian satellites that will be launched include a 710-kilogram Cartosat-2 series for Earth observation, a 100-kilogram microsatellite and a 5-kilogram nanosatellite. The other 28 satellites are from Canada, Finland, France, South Korea, the UK and the US. The total weight of all 31 satellites is 1,323 kilograms. As an observational satellite, Cartosat will beam high-quality images for cartographic, urban and rural applications, coastal land use and regulation and utility management like road network monitoring.
Yeah, that mission, one is you look at here, the PSLV had a very successful tenure up to 39. The last 39th mission we had a setback. Though the launch vehicle has put it into the what it's supposed to do, it is doing, but unfortunately it could not release the satellite into the orbit because the heat shield could not open there. So now we understood why it has not happened, the failure. So that it takes slightly more time. Now unambiguously a lot of tests have been done, repeated tests, so that such a problems cannot come. We recreated and ensured that such a problems will not come. With that, the C-40 is on this. Yes, we are back to the game. And another thing is, now we are coming to this also. This is more 31 satellites being launched.
According According to ISRO, Cartosat-2 series satellite launch is a follow-on mission with the primary objective of providing high-resolution, scene-specific spot imageries. This will be the third satellite in the Cartosat-2 series. With Aruna Thakur, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. On to the other top story at the top of one. Maldives Foreign Minister Mohammad Asim is in India on a 3-day visit. The meeting is underway between Mohammad Asim and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. The two leaders are expected to discuss key bilateral issues in the meeting. Mohammad Asim, who is also Maldivian President Abdullah Yamin's special envoy, will also call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. The visit comes amidst a strain in bilateral ties over a number of issues, including signing of an FTA agreement between Maldives and China. Now, during the visit, the Maldivian Foreign Minister is also expected to convey the message that Maldives is sensitive to India's concern over peace and security in the region. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that last month that India expects that as a close and friendly neighbour, the island nation will be sensitive to its concerns in keeping with its India First policy. My colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from the newsroom for a perspective on that story. Akhilesh, bilateral ties really between India and Maldives, suffered a setback when the island nation signed a FTA pact with China last year. And under that circumstances, in that backdrop, of course, Mohammad Asim's visit to India is of great significance.
Yeah, a very, very important visit is this, and you know that Maldives have been practicing love and hate relationship with India, and when they are in dire need, they call India, because India is the closest and nearest country to Maldives, and India believes in supplying humanitarian requirements to Maldives. And when Maldives, the whole water plant was malfunctioning, the water was going from India not only in ships but also by aeroplanes. So India was so having so humanitarian approach for Maldives. But you know that after a year or so, Maldives started playing its cards, and then not only signed FTA with China, yes, but also it is giving overtures that it is going to give much more importance to Chinese than Indians. Yes. And that is why Indian foreign policy establishment was very scared that, you see, it is not the question of who are you trading with. India never objected that you should not trade with China, because China has so many goods to trade with, so India cannot have any objections. Yeah. The way you are trying to cozy up with China at the cost of India's security, that is the major problem, and that is why India was questioning that Maldives should not use China as a policy of containment of India, and that is very ridiculous. You know that Maldives, a smaller nation like 4 lakhs population, is trying to contain India with China. So that is why India objected, and now that after Foreign Minister meets, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, he is also going to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is an indication that India is signaling that yes, we can have better relations if you try to change your style of functioning with India. And now it is also important, I will tell you that the defense minister is also coming to India. Maldives defense minister is also coming to India to address the security concerns that India has been telling. And there were behavioral issues like when GMR was making airports in Maldives, then it was cancelled and then it was given to Chinese companies. So these type of behaviors are very irritating for India, and that is why they want to tell Maldives in very clear terms that don't play China card. And I think this is the message that Foreign Minister will be going back to his country after he meets External Affairs Sushma Swaraj and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there. So Mohammad Asim, for the Foreign Minister of Maldives, holding talks with the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, and he has been sent as Maldives President's special envoy to overcome the trust deficit really between the two nations. Let's move on to some other news now. Finance Ministry has dismissed reports of public sector banks discontinuing all free services from 20th of January this year. Now, in a tweet, Financial Services Secretary Rajiv Kumar said that there is no such proposal and the reports are purely rumours and are baseless. The bankers' body, Indian Bank Association, has also issued a clarification. In a statement, IBA said that there is neither any move by banks for such a blanket removal of free services, nor such a thing is being contemplated. The Indian Banks Association has said that the information is baseless and false and urged the people not to get misled. The association, however, said that the banks are looking at commercial and operational costs and would constantly examine and revise the charges as the case may be. Messages have been circulating on social media since the past 1 week that banks would introduce new changes in and charges on various services from 20th of January. And Union Home Ministry has said that the work related to 2021 census, which will cover the country's entire 1.3 billion population, will begin this year. The roadmap for undertaking the census was discussed at a high-level meeting chaired by Home Minister Rajya in New Delhi on Wednesday. And in a statement, the ministry said that the activities required to be undertaken this year with regard to the census 2021 were discussed at the meeting. Now, these include firming up the design, a stakeholders meeting and pilot exercise in selected states. The last census, remember, was undertaken in 2011. Now, during the Home Minister also discussed the progress in updating National Register of Citizens in Assam, completion of the activities relating to the National Population Register and measures to improve and strengthen the civil registration system. Union Home Secretary Rajiv Gauba and other senior officials were also present at the meeting. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will meet top BJP leaders today, including BJP Chief Amit Shah and party's general secretaries. In the meeting, the top party leaders are expected to take stock of the current political situation in the country and also to review party's preparedness for the upcoming state polls, including the key election to the Karnataka Assembly. The meeting also comes ahead of the final full-fledged budget of the Modi government. The BJP has been running campaigns in poll-bound states of Tripura and Meghalaya, both of which are likely to go to polls next month, and as Karnataka as well, where elections are expected to take place in the month of May. And in a bid to address the privacy concerns, the UIDAI has introduced a new concept of a virtual ID. Now, these IDs can be generated by Aadhaar card holders from the UIDAI website and given for various purposes along with their fingerprints. The virtual ID will give users the option of not sharing their 12-digit Aadhaar number at the time of authentication. The virtual ID would be a random 16-digit number and will give out just limited details like the name, address and photograph, which are enough for any verification. A user can generate as many virtual IDs as he or she wants, with the older ID getting automatically cancelled once a fresh one is generated. The virtual ID will be mapped to a person's Aadhaar number and the Aadhaar issuing body will start accepting it from 1st of March this year. And from 1st of June this year, it will be compulsory for all the agencies that undertake authentication to accept the virtual ID from their users. Now, agencies that do not migrate to the new system to offer this additional option to their users by the stipulated deadline will face financial disincentives. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where triggering a controversy, People's Democratic Party legislator Aizaz Ahmed Mir on Thursday described Kashmiri militants killed by security forces as martyrs. Now, his statement comes just a day after Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti sent a strong message to the separatists, saying that whatever the people of Jammu and Kashmir get will be from India and nowhere else. Now, calling it a collective failure, he said that all should sympathize with the parents of Jawans and with the parents of militants as well. Now, Mir, who represents Vachi constituency, said that Centre's interlocutor for Jammu and Kashmir, Dineshwar Sharma, should talk to everyone in the state, including Hurriyat as well as militants. He said that the Kashmir issue is a political one and should be resolved politically. On Wednesday, Mir had described militants from Jammu and Kashmir as his brothers, and he called them for talks with the Hurriyat, militants and other stakeholders to resolve the Kashmir issue permanently.
मरकजी सरकार ने इंटरलॉक्यूटर या स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भेजा है, उसको सबसे बात करनी चाहिए, इंक्लूडिंग हुर्रियत और मिलिटेंट से भी, क्योंकि कुछ लोग जो है वो ग्लोरीफाई कर रहे हैं जो मिलिटेंट्स जो मर रहे हैं। मेरा ये मानना है कि मिलिटेंट जो है वो कहाँ के रहने वाले हैं, वो रियासत जम्मू कश्मीर के रहने वाले हैं, कश्मीर के रहने वाले हैं, वो हमारे अपने बच्चे हैं। उनका मरना किसी भी लिहाज से हमें खुशी नहीं मनानी।
2 साल में हालात रहे, कोई आइडियल सिचुएशन नहीं रही और अब धीरे धीरे सिचुएशन जो है किसी कदरे ठीक हो रही, पर स्टिल टू फ्रेजाइल, अभी भी बहुत नाजुक है। ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्कुल सब ठीक हो गया। इसको हम सब ने मिलके एक पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस के जरिए, एक पॉलिटिकल जो है एक तरीका है, उसके जरिए इसको एड्रेस करना है, चाहे वो वायलेंस हो, क्योंकि वायलेंस खाली हम सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस या पुलिस के जरिए इसको ठीक नहीं कर सकते हैं। वी ऑल्सो हैव टू रीच आउट टू द पीपल, स्पेशली टू द यूथ ऑफ आवर स्टेट।
टेररिस्ट हैं, ये सेपरेटिस्ट हैं, ये जो है वो कश्मीर और जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के लोगों के दुश्मन हैं, की तरक्की के दुश्मन हैं, उनके सुकून के और अमन के दुश्मन हैं। वो कैसे किसी के भाई हो सकते हैं? जो लोग जो है वो तो जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के दुश्मन हो, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर की तरक्की के दुश्मन हो, अमन और चैन के दुश्मन हो, वो उनके भाई हो जाएंगे।
And the Delhi police and the Gujarat ATS have arrested a suspected Lashkar terrorist involved in the Red Fort terror attack that took place in December 2000. Bilal Ahmed Kawa, a declared proclaimed offender in the case, was arrested on Wednesday evening from the T3 terminal of the Indira Gandhi International Airport. This after the Delhi police was informed by the Gujarat ATS that Kawa was travelling from Srinagar to Delhi. A police official said that the money to the tune of 29.5 lakh rupees was transferred through Hawala in various bank accounts of Kawa to fund the attack. Kawa has been on the run since 2000 and was hiding in Kashmir. 3 people, including 2 army jawans, were killed in the 22nd of December 2000 Red Fort attack. News from Mumbai, and after the Mumbai police arrested 2 pub owners of one above Restro Bar on Wednesday, the third absconding co-owner, Abhijit Mankar, was arrested on Thursday in connection with a massive fire in Mumbai's Kamla Mills that claimed the lives of at least 14 people last month. Brothers Jigar Sanghvi and Kripesh Sanghvi was arrested on the information provided by Juhu-based hotelier, who was arrested the same day for sheltering the duo along with Mankar. Meanwhile, the police had recovered a high-end car of the accused Mankar from the Juhu residence of Karya, who was then picked up for questioning. During the interrogation, the hotelier revealed that he sheltered the trio at his residence. Karya then, however, has been booked under Section 216 of the Indian Penal Code. On 6th of January, one above was found to have flouted the fire safety measures issued by the Mumbai Fire Brigade, which led to the fire on 29th of December last year. And today is the last day for the scrutiny of nominations for the upcoming Lok Sabha and Assembly by-elections. The by-elections will be held on 29th of January to fill up 3 vacancies in Lok Sabha. Polling will be held for Rajasthan's Ajmer and Alwar constituencies and West Bengal's Ulubera constituency. By-elections will be held to fill 1 casual vacancy each in the state assemblies of Rajasthan and West Bengal. Polling will take place on 29th of January for by-polls in Rajasthan's Mandalgarh seat and Neopara constituency in West Bengal. And counting of votes for both the Lok Sabha and the state assembly by-polls will be held on 1st of February. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu offered prayers at the Lord Venkateshwara temple at Tirumala in Andhra Pradesh during his visit to the state today. This is Venkaiah Naidu's first visit to the ancient temple after assuming office as a Vice President of the country last year. After visiting the temple, the Vice President tweeted, he praised the rich cultural heritage of India. He said that our ancestors have always taught us to be helpful to everyone. The Vice President is scheduled to visit Nellore later in the day today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu is on a 10-day tour to Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. He arrived in Andhra Pradesh on Wednesday on the first leg of his tour, where he was given a warm reception. And President Ramnath Kovind is in Bihar to inaugurate International Dharma Dhama Conference. President Ramnath Kovind will inaugurate a 3-day 4th International Dharma Dhama Conference on state and social order in Dharma Dhama traditions at Rajya International Convention Centre. Now, the event is being organized as a part of the commemorative events to celebrate the Silver Jubilee year of ASEAN-India Dialogue Partnership with the support of the Ministry of External Affairs. Besides President Ramnath Kovind, Governor of Bihar Satyapal Malik, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, Sri Lankan Minister of Foreign Affairs and Development Assignments Tilak Marappana, among others, will attend the conference. And former Union Minister Arif Mohammad Khan has condemned the attitude of the opposition parties on the anti-triple talaq issue. In an interview to Rajya Sabha television, Arif Khan charged the opposition parties with changing their stand under pressure from the All India Muslim Personal Law Board.
Former Union Minister Arif Mohammad Khan says that strict provisions are necessary to stop the practice of anti-triple talaq. And in this regard, he questioned the conduct of the opposition parties who displayed one stand in the Lok Sabha and an equally opposite stance in Rajya Sabha.
They are not even saying that these leaders assured that they will sympathetically consider the viewpoint of the Personal Law Board. It is, as far as this text is concerned of the press release which has been issued by All India Personal Law Board, it is clear as if Personal Law Board is dictating to these parties what line they take.
Arif Mohammad Khan, who resigned from the Congress while opposing Rajiv Gandhi's government in Shah Bano case, also said that BJP is justified in seeking 3-year jail term to culprit.
I think more deterrent this provision is, more successfully it will stop the incidents of triple talaq.
In the Shah Bano case, the Supreme Court had awarded alimony to her, but the Rajiv Gandhi government reversed the judgment by bringing a bill in the parliament. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the United States on Wednesday issued a new travel advisory for its citizens with a level of advice ranging from 1 to 4 level, with 1 level being the most favored one. Now, every country has a travel advisory system based on this system, which has replaced all the previous such advisories. Now, level 1 advises travelers to exercise the normal precaution, while level 4, which has countries like Afghanistan, recommends do not travel. Now, India has been placed in level 2, which advises increased caution, while Pakistan has been placed in level 3, meaning reconsider travel. The American official said that India was user-friendly, but it asked its citizens not to travel to Jammu and Kashmir except for eastern Ladakh and Leh. It also cautioned its citizens on incidents of sexual assault and rape as one of the fastest growing crimes in India. And US President Donald Trump has expressed openness to holding talks between the US and North Korea. Trump said this during a phone call with the South Korean President Moon Jae-in on Wednesday. Trump also said in the phone call that there would be no military action while North-South talks were going on, and that a media article saying that he was contemplating a military strike against North Korea was completely wrong. The call comes a day after representatives from North and South Korea held day-long negotiations in the demilitarized zone, where Pyongyang agreed to send a delegation to next month's Winter Olympics and to hold talks with Seoul to ease military tensions. After the talks, South Korean President Moon Jae-in at a press conference credited Donald Trump with making a huge contribution to bringing the North and South together. Trump has also taken credit for the talks.
I just spoke to President Moon. He's very thankful for what we've done. They're having talks with North Korea. We'll see how that happens. He's very thankful for what we've done. It was so reported today that we were the ones without our attitude. That would have never happened. Who knows where it leads? Hopefully it'll lead to success for the world, not just for our country, but for the world. And we'll be seeing over the next number of weeks and months what happens.
And protests across the African country Tunisia continued for the third successive day against the government's new austerity measures. The protests against hike in fuel prices and taxes on goods began peacefully on Monday, but escalated after one person was killed in clashes with the police. Now, more than 200 people have been arrested across Tunisia as anger spilled over into unrest. The protesters are demanding that the government drop the 2018 budget, which has announced an increase in value-added tax and social contributions. The government has also introduced price hikes on some goods and increased taxes on imports. Let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. Hundreds of rescuers are combing wreckage in South California for missing people after mudslides killed 17 people there. Another 28 people have been injured in Santa Barbara County following the deluge. More than 100 homes have been destroyed and another 300 have been damaged. 13 people remain missing. More than 50 people have been already rescued, but many places are still inaccessible. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered the armed police forces to uphold the absolute leadership of the ruling Communist Party of China. The remarks came as the police force has been brought under the Communist Party's command for the first time. The move to bring armed forces directly under the Communist Party is aimed at consolidating Xi Jinping's leadership as he began his second five-year tenure in the month of October last year, emerging as the most powerful Chinese leader in recent years. And 2 civilians were killed when police fired live rounds to disperse crowds that attacked a police station in Pakistan in a protest over the rape and murder of a 7-year-old girl. Police recovered the body of Zainab Ansari on Tuesday from a garbage dumpster in the town of Kasur in eastern Pakistan, 4 days after she was reported missing. It was the 12th incident of a girl being abducted, raped and killed in the past 1 year in Kasur district. Residents have been furious at the authorities for what they see as a failure to investigate such cases. And that's it for my team in this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.